Once, except for the birds, our skies were empty. Now, they're a crowded place.
It's like chaos, but it's controlled chaos.
Every day, 6,000 planes.
My pride and joy.
There's nothing we can't transport.
And 600,000 people are in the skies above Britain. Guiding every plane is a hidden army of controllers.
So we've got no option right now but to stop arrivals into Gatwick.
Performing one of the world's greatest juggling acts.
Unlike a computer game, you can't hit pause. They come in.
A place of adventure.
Well, that was fantastic.
Wonder.
When you're up there, nothing else matters.
And danger.
Unless you know what's in front of you, the better, I think.
It gives you a sense of space and freedom and a feeling that you're part of something bigger.
Every boy's little dream.
There's something about the sky, something adventurous and escapist. The skies over Britain are used by scores of different people who all want different things out of them. There are private pilots who fly, there are drones, there are hot air balloonists, there are gliders, there's the military, there's any number of people who all want to use the airspace. And trying to make all of that work safely and well is the most important thing for us. But you never quite know what's going to happen.
At the National Air Traffic Control Centre, NATS, a team of controllers thread thousands of planes through our skies each day.
Speedbird 86 Papa, reduce speed to 220 knots.
Shamrock 158, Roger, continue on the heading and descend flight level 110.
But there are always unexpected challenges.
He's lost his number one hydraulic system. He's got no fluid left in it, no nose wheel steering.
Shortly after taking off, a passenger jet is reporting a fault.
93 uniforms, a PAM with a hydraulic failure. One system is completely drained.
So we've got a British Airways aircraft that had left Heathrow about probably half an hour ago now. He got about 10 minutes into the flight and discovered he had a hydraulic leak. Decided that the best course of action was not to continue to Gibraltar but to come back to Heathrow. Unfortunately, the aircraft's too heavy to land. Now, the risk if they land too heavy is they might burst the tyres, their brakes might fail or lock, and they might damage the aircraft by doing that. So in order to get to the correct weight to land, he needs to burn off fuel. It's a waiting game, really, for us. Cheers.
Controllers direct the jet to a clear patch of airspace where it can use up fuel by circling overhead.
So there he is. He's over the channel at 13,000 feet.
After 25 minutes, the plane has burned off enough fuel to land. But the hydraulic fault means it may not be able to steer once its wheels hit the tarmac.
The gap behind him would normally be 3 to 4 miles. We're putting a 10-mile gap in just to give us that little bit more room in case anything does happen, and that allows us to take the aircraft behind and send it around if anything does. He's on this line here is known as the extended centre line, so he's landing on 27 right. He's got to be off by now. Okay, so he's disappeared off the radar now, which means that very shortly his wheels will be hitting the tarmac.
Just airports. Okay, thank you. He's vacated the runway. They're waiting for the runway to be inspected and handed back.
The runway's back. It's all clear. Problem finished.
The demands placed on NATS go far beyond commercial traffic. Right next to Heathrow, the British leg of the international Red Bull Air Race is taking place at Ascot Racecourse.
an air race in one of the busiest air traffic control zones in the world is bonkers. If you said, oh look, let's have a massive air race next to this incredibly busy international airport, you probably wouldn't do it. So we've said to them not above 1,500 feet, and that enables us to then jump over the top of them with our outbound traffic. Touch wood, they manage to keep in their own little part of the airspace, they keep to their bit, we keep to our bit, and everybody's happy.
One of the pilots competing for the top prize is Paul Bonhomme. Paul first piloted a plane when he was just 12 years old and has been flying ever since.
You know, if you're in an aerobatic aeroplane in a beautiful summer's afternoon, blue sky, no airspace issues, you've turned the radio off, fly around and twist and turn and roll and loop, and it's great fun.
Paul's day job is flying passenger jets for BA, but he is also a two-time Red Bull Air Race champion, and this year is going for a record third win.
I hate losing. I've never understood the phrase, it's not the winning that matters, it's the taking part that counts. On the other side of the coin, it's the winning that counts.
It's practice day at Ascot, where the 14 competing pilots have a chance to work out the quickest route around a 3-mile course.
The real fun starts when we get to a corner. As the aeroplane disappears off around the corner that way, your body wants to keep going in the original direction, so that's effectively squashing you into the seat, and that feels like a load of weight. You know, your arms suddenly weigh 10 times their normal weights. You know, your neck muscles are straining to keep your head upright. Under that pressure, your blood will want to travel this way as well. So the blood pressure to your eyes will reduce. You'll just see this grey shadow coming in, and ultimately you can have a complete grey out where you just see everything grey.
Added to the physical challenge of the race is risk. Pilots must fly extremely close to the ground at speeds of over 200 miles per hour. 6 years ago, during a race, a Red Bull plane faltered. The pilot was lucky to crash into water. Since then, new safety measures have been introduced, but the course is still designed to push pilots to their absolute limits.
There's something about humans that make us want to fly. I think it just represents freedom when you're up there. Like, you can breathe. Like, it's just, everything's just beneath you now and you're just away from it.
With tens of thousands of people in Britain now owning a drone, the skies are opening up to more and more of us.
You're not supposed to be there, you know that. We are YouTubers, full-time YouTubers, so we basically film our lives as parents for a weekly show that we put out every Sunday. No, not that lens, not that lens. So we just film everything we do. We film ourselves trying to raise a child.
As soon as he bought his drone, online filmmaker Stefan started pushing the boundaries of where he could fly it.
One day we decided to go down to the National History Museum, which is this incredibly beautiful building in London, and it was just dying to have a drone fly all around it and over it. So I was a bit audacious. I kind of put my drone down, probably about 10 meters away from the building, and then just launched it. And before I even kind of had it like 6 foot in the sky, I had lots of high-vis jacket people around me telling me to like land this thing now.
I don't think I was allowed to get that shot. I've got to put this away as well, so I'll speak to you guys in a minute. Maybe from prison, I don't know, we'll see.
They let me out, I'm not arrested, so that's good. Apparently need a license to fly a drone.
My plan was to get the drone shot outside and then take the drone inside and film the drone around here and like fly the drone up into this. And then they said they probably would have shot me if I'd have done that, so I'm quite glad I didn't do that.
The fact you could just buy these in any shop, I was thinking, well, they can't be that illegal. In terms of how illegal things are, you've got murder, you've got like, I don't know, like going 35 miles an hour. I thought it might be down towards the bottom of that spectrum. So I was like, well, if it is illegal, then it's probably not going to be a big deal anyway. It would just be told, I'll just be told not to do it again. It's a bit of a reckless attitude, I suppose.
Even larger drones designed for aerial filming are too small to be detected by radars.
Yesterday we had a aircraft out of Heathrow report a close encounter with a drone. He estimated it 20 foot away and suggested it was in the region of about 6 foot. So we're not talking a little pathetic helicopter you might get down the gadget shop. We're talking a big proper drone up there at 10,000 feet. Another aircraft reported seeing it a little higher. If you're going to hit something at 260 odd miles an hour, it's going to do some damage, isn't it? I'm no judge, jury and executioner, but if I ruled the world, they should be, well, lock and key job away, because it's, again, endangerment of aircraft.
This is Barry just arriving. This is the guy who's going to help me try and pass my drone test. He's already done the test, so he's well placed to know what I'm supposed to do.
For the misuse of his drone, Steph got off with a warning. But now he can't use it for filming unless he gets an official license.
In here is all you need to do a flight assessment safely. Okay, so you need to put one of those on, okay? This thing here just does a scan of the frequencies locally.
Easy to work.
So you need to warn people you're going to be flying in the area, but you need to check the wind to make sure it's not too windy. You need a fire extinguisher, first aid kit.
To have traffic cones out and signs and pretty much hard hats, I mean, there's no other way that I'm going to get the shots that I want to get unless I can jump through all these hoops. So, like, I know it's essential, but it does strip the romance out of flying a drone completely. I have to carry traffic cones around with me. I might just steal them off the A3 or something.
Right, go to 20 metres. Go to 20 metres high.
The regulations state Steph must keep his drone below 400 feet.
Oh, great.
Here we are, 20 metres.
Just bring it down a minute. They do know we're flying, so...
He used to fly close to 1,000.
Wait, I can't.
OK, so if you just go 20 metres forward and then hover, and then fly back, and as I say, turn the drone round.
If I pass my test, I'll be one of like 5 legal drone pilots allowed to fly in London with the CAA, which is crazy.
How does that work? How do you mean? What you just said there?
Because I'm applying to fly in London, central London, with the CAA.
It's not going to be that easy. Sorry.
Yeah.
What you just said isn't going to be very easy to fly in London.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to do all sorts of advanced tests and have thousands of hours of flying time.
But if I did go to Regent's Park and fly it, and somebody said, "What are you doing?" I can say I'm a fully qualified pilot.
You can't do that. The only way you're going to be able to fly in Regent's Park is if you close an area of Regent's Park that doesn't allow people to go within 50 metres of you. It's that difficult. There's one guy in the UK who can fly to within 10 metres of people, and he's an ex-army guy who's had many, many years of flying these things. So yeah, it's not as simple as you think.
I feel like my heart's broken a little bit. If I'd have known at the very start of buying a drone that all this was going to come, there's no way I would have picked up that drone and bought it. Like, no way. But now I'm overcommitted. It's like, well, I may as well see this through because I'm so far down the road.
1056 Charlie, speed 220 knots by Barkway, descend, flight level 120. Flying flight level 220.
Every day, air traffic controllers guide a relentless flow of planes through their patch of sky.
Final 60 Zulu, speed of 180 knots.
Second by second, they must plot safe routes, keeping all planes perfectly separated.
You could have 10, 12 different aircraft all under your control, and we have to rely on all the information there. We're not just looking at a radar picture, the paper computer-generated strips that tell us the call sign of the aircraft, where it's going, what level it's going to be at. We formulate this plan, so it's like a 3D picture in our heads.
Ryanair 80 Golf Charlie, Roger, fly heading 295.
Controller needs to be calm under pressure. Always a perfectionist. You want to do everything you do to the best of your ability, to the optimum level.
89003, turn left onto 115 degrees, climb altitude 6,000 feet.
Controllers are a nightmare to live with. Honestly, I feel so sorry for the other halves. We are all very similar people. You know, we are OCD. Most controllers have the tidiest, immaculate houses you'll ever think. We are control freaks.
Rhino 4 Echo Victor, turn right heading 095 degrees.
As much as they strive to impose order, controllers must always be ready for the unexpected.
You get all kinds of things, cracked windscreens, pressurisation problems, bird strikes, medical emergencies. Pilots will report they've had a laser shone at them. The one thing you don't want is fire. Smoke in the cockpit or any kind of fire, that's the one thing you do need to land with straight away. And Ryanair 60 in contact tower now, full sign only 123.18, goodbye. Perfect analogy, it's a computer game that you can't lose. I think if you sat there and thought that's 200 people, that's 300 people, I think you'd probably go crazy.
292, 1 go for score guide, enter and climb now, altitude 5,000 feet.
The only time it ever hits me is if you go to a big airport.
Shamrock 911, continue present heading.
Then the reality is, you go, goodness me, and how many lives you've got on your hand ultimately, day to day when you're sitting there in front of the radar, it really hits then.
Statistically, travelling by air is the safest form of transport, but more than 1 in 4 of us has a fear of flying. Lynn hasn't been on board a plane for 17 years.
My main fear is it grips you so badly that you just, I want to scream and I want to just shout, get me off, get me off. I feel so sick. I feel my heart it's not just palpitations, it beats so strongly.
But now, Lynn needs to take a trip to the other side of the world.
My mum came from Australia, and when she passed away, she wanted her ashes sprinkled on St Kilda Beach.
Right.
And it's something that I have to do, I've got to do it.
The Malaysian Airlines flight for the 2 seats comes out at £1,798.60.
The Malaysian airline is the one that went missing.
It did, yes. I mean, that was just an unfortunate
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
But if you're not comfortable with that particular airline, we could probably look at Cathay Pacific or Singapore Airlines.
My mum's driving me forward. She's saying, you've got to do it.
She's on your shoulder saying you've got to do it.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming
Bye-bye.
in. Bye-bye.
Oh, I want to go. I've got to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it for my mum. I want to put that to bed and I want to be able to move forward. I can't move forward. With the grieving process, I can't move forward until I've done it.
Lynn is planning to take a 2-day fear of flying course. The aim is that by the 2nd day, she will be sufficiently confident to be able to take a short flight.
I don't think I can go in them.
As a first step to conquering her fears, her best friend has suggested she attempts a trip on London's cable car.
They look a bit scary to me. I'll go have a look. The problem is, if I get in it, I can't get off again to the other end, and I don't know if I can do it.
They don't get stuck, these things.
Yes, they do. I've seen them get stuck.
What, this one?
Look, if that one got stuck in the middle, okay, then that's it. You're up there till they can get you back down again, and I couldn't do that.
Oh, you could say that about anything, though, couldn't you? Anything you go on can get stuck.
I can't. No, I can't go on it. I don't want to go on that. I know. I will scream to get off.
You're not going to scream.
I will. No. Oh, I don't want to go. Oh, no, look at it. I'm scared, but I want to do it. Did you just go on it? Oh.
Come on, madam.
I don't want to go on it.
There we go.
The cable car travels at 6 miles an hour at 300 feet.
It's not that that bad.
It's also the highest.
Oh, it's really slow.
Below the river surface.
Lynn may have conquered her fear of the cable car, but her next challenge will be 10,000 feet in the air, in a real plane.
Hello and welcome to Ascot, Berkshire, in the heart of the English countryside.
At Ascot, the air race is about to begin.
It's filling up. You can feel the excitement, the tension is building.
It's just high risk, high danger. I mean, that's why we come and see that you don't go see someone throwing paper airplanes, do you? I mean, you want to go see someone doing the backflips. They've got these big hurdles, slaloms. I mean, you want to see some action.
Well, danger is one of the things that makes absolutely amazing. You know, it adds the extra factor to it.
Well, for starters, I can tell you for a fact that Paul's going to win. Yeah, go Paul!
Okay, guys, do that. Well, the quintessential English gentleman, Paul Bonhomme, very calm, very cool, very calculated, and that describes his flying style as well as his personality.
Paul is aiming to repeat last year's victory before retiring at the end of the season.
I generally don't like race day morning. I'm a bundle of nerves. That's nerves, firstly, of not doing very well, because nobody wants to lose in a race, but equally the danger side. You don't want to put yourself in any danger. It's a really fine balancing act. You want to keep the fans happy, but at the same time, I'm not here to keep them happy by doing selfies and, you know, pictures and signings. I'm here to keep them happy by winning a race. Sorry, we've got to go. Sorry guys, we've got to dash. I'd love to be the Stig of air racing. I'd love to just turn up, hide out the back, go racing and then disappear. Sadly, that's never going to happen. The media spotlight and the sponsors, but it would be so nice just to race.
We kickstart the race action for the weekend with the qualifying. So important for the pilots to fly well here.
Each pilot must try to set the fastest time. The quickest can get round the course in just over a minute, but there's a time penalty for any mistakes. Behind the scenes, Paul prepares for his turn.
A lot of racing is down to observation. You know, have you noticed the fact that the wind at gate 4 is swirling around a bit? And then if you've noticed it, do you know what to do about it? And if you know what to do about it, do you know when to do that? When you close the canopy, I like the solitude of it. I love being alone in an aeroplane. So it's just heaven.
But after just one flight, Paul's plane has a major fault.
What happened?
Our alternator just failed.
If he doesn't get back up in the air within 30 minutes, he'll miss his second qualifying run, which could stop him getting through to the next round.
So he had no power to start the engine?
Nothing.
The alternator failed?
He's got no power, he won't be able to run the next run.
And the reason to change the alternator is you. It's got that funny feeling that it's going to fail at any moment, so hence the change.
It's 2 screws and 4 little ones.
Any distraction is bad. It's a frustration that something is, in my mind, conspiring against me winning.
The screw that goes on the firewall is on the firewall.
The rehearsal of going through the track, every single movement is absolutely key, because it's probably hundreds and hundreds of movements in 1 minute, and you have to rehearse that in your head.
How you doing?
Is everybody happy about it?
Yeah, Chip said hello.
Just waiting on the fan.
And do we think that was the problem?
Yeah, well, it's our best bet for now.
I hope it works.
Yeah, I hope it works too.
The rapid repair gets Paul airborne again, just in time.
The light goes from red to green, and green by over a quarter of a second. Through Champions Corner, the British fans are on their feet once again as Paul Bonhomme, 2 from 2 in qualifying. Bonhomme sets himself up as the hot favourite. Oh, the crowd are on their feet. The fans are loving it.
Paul makes it through to the knockout stage of the race.
I have to say that's what you call a mental challenge. Forget the flying, that was the mental challenge of all mental challenges. But, you know, we overcame that and here we are. Thanks to the team. If I hadn't got a brilliant team, I wouldn't be here.
Bonhomme Charlie, descend altitude 4,000 feet, landing QNH 1013, be level of beam deck link.
Mayday, 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 November 140, Foxtrot Juliet.
When emergencies happen, it's vital that air traffic controllers respond quickly.
Oh shit, tell me anything you need.
Ma'am, we're just over the French coast at this time and we have an explosive takeoff crashing on board.
Each year, they're tested to see if they can handle unpredictable and time-critical situations.
We're just going to get down to 100, over.
From another room, an ex-pilot simulates a range of real-life scenarios.
We'd like to make a slight turn to the left
And then a slight turn to the right to make sure my aircraft, the integrity of the aircraft is normal.
Aswanic, there potentially could be maybe 2 or 3 emergencies a day, but they could be anything from a sick passenger to something seriously wrong with an aircraft.
That's good. We'll start again and we'll do something else.
I tried to make it as realistic as possible by using an American aircraft and using an American accent. Well, if I was a KLM pilot, I would put on my Dutch accent, of course. We fly to Newcastle and have a landing. If I was a South African pilot, then I'd be going down to Durban and I would fly from Heathrow down to Durban at about 40,000 feet.
Easy 13 Uniform Whiskey, contact London 120.17.
One of the rarer situations they may have to deal with is a pilot losing consciousness through lack of oxygen.
Let's say, for example, as happened some years ago in the States, there was a business jet and it developed a very tiny hole or crack in the windscreen, and so air was coming in, but so quietly that the pilot didn't hear it. He started slurring his words and taking wrong turns. The aircraft went over a large body of water, and unfortunately, and there was nothing anybody could do.
Flyway 206, turn left heading of 050 degrees.
Should we do a French accent?
If you wish.
Okay, let's do that.
London, Bravo Romeo Sierra 4639.
Bravo Romeo Sierra 4639, pass the message.
The air traffic controllers have no idea what they will be faced with.
I'm not feeling very well.
Descend now, flight level 130.
310.
Flight level 130. He's just doing his own thing. He's just dropping in there.
And I'm still going to simulate turning the aircraft to the right because I'm really not in control of this aeroplane.
I think he sounds as if he's got a bit of lack of oxygen, hasn't he? He doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. He sounds very incoherent.
I need to land as soon as possible.
Bravo Sierra 4639, that is understood. It will be vectors to land at Gatwick, heading 360.
The controller guides the pilot down to a safe height.
360 degrees.
Because of the fresh air I've introduced into the cockpit, then I'm gradually getting all my faculties back. And there we are. It should be a happy landing, hopefully.
This training is massively important because it gives them the ability in the simulator in a safe environment to practice the skills that they've learned. It helps everybody to sort of refocus on what they could have done and could have done better.
Easy 63 X-ray Papa descent.
Bravo, reduce speed 165 knots, maintain to a 4 knots.
Flight level 110.
Air traffic controllers never know when their training will be put to the test.
Easy 60 Charlie Bravo, thank you. Number 2, contact Stansted Tower now, course line only 123.8, goodbye.
Amanda is in charge of flights in and out of Stansted.
Tough call for them, isn't it?
Twin John Stansted?
An unidentified flying object, an infringer, has been spotted close to the Stansted flight path.
That's the airport there, that square. And this is the return there, which is quite faint. But there's some doubt as to whether that's an aeroplane or not. I can hear the controller speaking to the tower controller to see whether or not that is an actual return of an aeroplane or not.
If the object is real, there's a risk of collision.
I don't want to take any chances. 24 Yankee Lima, Essex Red Hall, there will be a short delay to unknown aircraft in our airspace. I'm going to stop the prompts. Yes, please. Thank you. Cheers. And I've stopped the inbounds for the moment until we know that it's either gone over the top and it's gone clear.
The mystery infringer remains unresponsive.
It went to this corner of Luton's airspace, it looked real. It went up there and it went off that way. It then disappeared again and then came this way, painted quite clearly. It's now jumping about.
As she's not sure, she's taken the safest option. There will be no more departures from Stansted until this contact either disappears off radar or we establish that it is an aircraft and get it out of the way. It vanished. Vanished about a mile west of the airfield and never reappeared.
It's a judgment call. If there's any part of you that thinks it could be real, stop your traffic, because you don't want to be the one person responsible the day it is real.
Whether a light aircraft or just a flock of birds, air traffic control will never know. Today, Steph aims to become an officially licensed drone pilot.
Oh, God. I'm feeling, oh my God, like a disaster, basically. If I pass, it's going to be a miracle.
Right. OK, Stefan, welcome to your showground when you're going to do your flight assessment. Obviously, this is the flying area, the field we can see.
Let me get my sexy high vis on.
Steph must show he can identify every safety risk.
Considering we're in a big field and there's nothing around us, I think an emergency landing is going to be fairly safe around here. I can see some sheep over there too. I've warned the farmer.
Once he's assessed the area, he can attempt to take off.
No, 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 no. Why? Okay, I'm just gonna...
Forget about this is a flight assessment and it's important to you. Is it safe to fly this aircraft, given the things that you're experiencing at the moment? The call is yours, Stefan, ultimately, because you as the pilot have got to make the safe call.
Okay, a more complicated flying environment with more elements against me, then I would not take the flight.
Okay.
On the basis of it being in a field, I feel I can do it.
Okay, then, we'll carry on. I'd like to fly to the centre location, which is the small cone.
God, Steph, man up, come on. I've never been this scared in my life.
Either clockwise or anti-clockwise, you're the aircraft through 180 degrees. Initiate your fail-safe. Bring it back to the centre for me, please. What I'd like to do now is land your aircraft for me, please. Okay, and as the sun's come out, congratulations, Stefan, you passed your flight assessment.
Oh my God, man. No way, are you serious?
Yeah.
Can I cuddle you, please? I know you're a military man, but...
Couple of
Yes! I can't even explain how good this feels right now. So to hear him say I passed now has just, it's opened up this to me. It's finally opened up the skies. It sounds cheesy, but the sky is no longer going to be the limit.
It's an 18,000 strong crowd here in Ascot.
It's the first knockout round at Ascot.
talk to anybody.
Paul is ranked favourite, but due to the race format, he's now up against his biggest rival, who he didn't expect to meet until the final.
I'm furious.
Oh, really? Why?
What are this stupid format?
Because you're up against
I'm
Hannah?
up against Hannah, so well done, Paul. Love the format.
Okay then. But in terms of your performances anyway?
Great, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Great days flying. The format sucks.
Thank you.
Any distraction is bad, let alone one that raises your blood pressure and gets your temper going. It's part and parcel of the competition. You know, I'm there to win, and it's a frustration that something is, in my mind, conspiring against me winning.
Paul's rival, Austrian pilot Hannes Ark, is first to fly.
Up he goes! This is the fastest, cleanest run we've seen from the former world champion all week long as he heads for home and stops the clock with a scintillating time.
Paul needs to be faster than 1 minute 6.2 seconds.
He said it himself, Mike, the pressure is on. In and out of Champions Corner, it's not looking that good. Red light, no green, 4/10 off the pace, 230 miles per hour. Has Bonhomme been beaten by half? Watch the clock. Oh, he's missed it. Ark has beaten Paul Bonhomme.
Paul is nearly a whole second slower than his rival.
Paul Bonhomme is beaten out on the Ascot racetrack.
I absolutely detest it when I don't do well. Maybe it's just in my, in my makeup. I did horrendously at the first batch of school exams I did when I was 16, and that dreadful feeling of opening your exam sheet to see that you'd failed 8 out of 9 exams, for me that was heartbreaking.
Bonhomme will go through as the fastest loser. Bonhomme is still in the competition.
It will all come down to who can fly fastest in the final round. Every year, thousands of people in Britain begin the journey towards becoming a pilot.
Golf 50 Yankee, runway 08, takeoff to discretion, wind 070 degrees. 3 knots. Oh, thank you.
Pretty cool, isn't it? I'm just kind of eager to get up there now.
When he was a boy, Ross Proctor was told that because he had restricted growth in his legs, he would never achieve his dream of becoming a pilot.
These seats are a nice height. Pedals are still miles away, but I bet that's fun. Pushing them all forward. I bet it's nice being in, right up, 32,000 feet in one of these. Above the clouds and everything. I bet it's nice. Do you want me to lift this thing up?
Now, aged 31, Ross finally has a chance to learn to fly a specially adapted plane.
It's like World's Strongest Man, isn't it? It's not actually difficult.
The airplane is only going to do what he makes it do, the same as it'll do for you or for me. He's got to be able to do it.
Bloody hell. Right, okay.
The usual foot pedals are replaced by an extra hand control.
He's got to operate the brakes, the rudder, the throttle, and the flaps with one hand. Want to add anything onto that? I think that's an achievement if you can do that. So you now need to be able to work that one, and that one. If you're an octopus, it's easy.
It's sort of a strange feeling. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, isn't it? But no, it's great. It's cool. You're in this machine that really you think, how does this thing fly? And the excitement and the adrenaline of pushing the throttle forward and revving it up. Well, I think if most of us could pick a superpower, we'd pick to fly.
Taxi then by Alpha, okay?
Before he can take flight, Ross must master manoeuvring the aircraft on the ground.
Try using your left hand off India Sierra Zulu on the brake. And we'll pass your message.
On the brake?
Yeah. And you can still steer it at the same time. Does that work?
Right, where am I going, by the way?
Okay, I'm ready to do that. That's it. How's that there?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's slightly awkward, but not where it's like not manageable, if you know what I mean.
That's right. Hey, don't cross that line there, because that's where the live runway is.
Brake.
Which way do you want to go?
Right.
Right, yeah. That way. Good effort. Hard right, hard right, hard right, hard right, hard right. Always try and get the nose wheel on the yellow line.
Once he's familiar with the controls, Ross can attempt takeoff.
Right, what we're going to do now is we'll get it out on the runway. When I say rotate, I want you just to bring the control column back nice and steadily at a nice back like that. And the wheels leave the ground, I'll come and give you a hand.
Alright, rock on, let's do it.
Okay, let the brakes off. A little bit quick there, but never mind. Keep it straight now with the rudder. Okay, RPM's good, P's and C's are good. And the outside's good. Yeah, look at the far end of the runway. Keep the stick just about there. Okay, get back now, rotate, pull back, pull back. There you go. Lovely, well done.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
Whoa, first takeoff there.
Enjoy this little bit because it gets to be hard work after this.
I think the world looks different from up in the air. You know, it gives you a sense of space and freedom and a feeling that you're part of something bigger.
Maybe it gives you a little bit of faith back in yourself. When you do it, maybe you think, you know what, I believe in myself and I know my talents, I know my abilities. Can I fly an aeroplane? Can I do it? Yes, I can.
Can I make 3 Foxtrot, leave him on a heading of 330 degrees.
So,
thunderstorm and lightning,
thunderstorms.
very, very frightening.
Galileo.
Today, severe thunderstorms are forecast to hit the crowded airspace around the south of England.
The weather is the real killer today for us.
We're going to see bad weather hitting Gatwick probably in the next hour, and then moving its way up to Heathrow, and then Stansted Luton, of course, because we deal with all those airports here.
Thunderstorms make life very difficult for gnats, as pilots can swerve suddenly off their flight paths to avoid flying through storm clouds.
So the calm before the storm? Yeah. Pretty much.
To make matters worse, during bad weather, fewer planes can land, which means a traffic jam can build up in the sky.
My concern is it's going to get worse. We're going to get multiple weather avoidance, so I think the rate needs to come down, otherwise we're going to end up with carnage everywhere.
To limit potential disruption, Steve decides to reduce the number of flights allowed into London's airspace. But this will lead to delays and cancellations all over Europe.
I'm the one who holds the accountability for the safety of the operation in this ops room. So I'm the only person that can make the decision on the traffic numbers in. I've got lots of sources of information, but ultimately, if it's wrong, it's my fault. I've just decreased the Heathrow rate. When the weather hits in the next hour and a half, we don't end up with planes all over the place.
No one knows exactly when the storm will hit, or how long it will last. So Steve has to constantly reevaluate his decision as updates come in.
Is there any way you could shorten the time frame, do you think?
But this is battening down the hatches before it all hits.
That's fine. If you think it's the right decision, then fine.
I think it feels the right decision.
That's fine,
for now.
that's no worries, but I'm just warning you that.
Okay. When that band is coming through, it's due to hit in the next half hour. There's Heathrow, there's a nice big cell, there's the bad weather as it has drifted up to the north, the Luton Stansted.
He won't know if he's made the right call until the storm arrives.
Thunderstorm and hail warnings for all around the TMA. We've got Biggin Hill, London City, Farnborough, Luton and Stansted.
What time?
We've all been on planes where, you know, I'm sorry for the late departure of this flight, it's air traffic. It's never air traffic just because we're being miserable. You know, there's only so much concrete in the southeast of the country and an awful lot of aeroplanes that want to land on those bits of concrete. And physically, you can only get so many down. So sometimes when the demand is really high, or like we have when there's bad weather, you just have to reduce the amount coming in.
The weather front has reached London's airspace.
So it looks like it's dissipating, doesn't it?
But the storms have eased.
It's not been as bad as it was forecast. So what we've done is obviously lifted the regulations as soon as we can. We've made sure that as fewer delays possible have been incurred by everyone along the way. Weather is so unpredictable. We even had the Met Office forecaster here with us today, but even they can't be 100% accurate with the ferocity, if you like, of the thunderstorm type activity. If we'd hit bad weather, we've got all those planes, potentially 25 planes in the sky that would need to divert as well. I mean, it's just not a pretty place to be at all. I still stand by all the decisions that we've made so far.
Sainsbury's, here I come. Cheerio. Ta-da.
When I came away from the cable cars, I was very encouraged and I thought, yep, that's good. But I woke up this morning and my heart keeps going up and down, because I know this is it now. It's real.
Tens of thousands of British people have taken one of the fear of flying courses run by the major airlines. Now Lynn is joining them.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Good luck.
The two-day course aims to get aviophobes ready to fly. If Lynn makes it through, it will be her first flight for 17 years.
What I'm about to teach you will make the impossible possible and totally within your grasp.
It begins by putting the risks of flying in perspective.
All right, which one of these is the odd one out? You're absolutely correct. You're more likely to get killed by being kicked by a donkey than any of the other disasters put together.
Then uses a range of psychological techniques aimed at removing fear.
Whatever your fear is, you're going to play that negative mind movie in your head. Freeze the frame in your mind. 3, 2, 1, and scratch. Bad movie just rips and splits into two. And now what's really important is that you create the good movie. Now this is so important. This is the movie telling the brain, this is what I want. Whatever that is for you, make that bright, colourful, three-dimensional, powerful. That's good. I have this fear. I know bigger. Here we go. Even though I have this, I know. Top of the head, top of the head, top of the head, top of the head. Eyebrow point, eyebrow, side of the eye, underneath the eye. Remember, these were just mind games that you were playing inside of your head. But you know what? The game is over.
What worked for me was that picture. I have a picture in my head and I've broken it and I've got the picture of what I want to do, and that's what's going to work for me.
After dark, a skeleton staff are still at Nats, keeping watch over the remaining planes and passengers in the skies.
Hello, good morning. It's the TC Ops Supervisor here. Zap 792 inbound to yourself. He would like some policemen to meet him on arrival. He's got a disruptive passenger on board. I know no more details yet. I'll get back to you when I do. But he's out of Spain, so it looks like a bucket and spade flight coming back with holidaymakers on board. So entirely possible that someone's been drinking all day long and just getting a bit leery, or it could be something entirely different.
Heavily intoxicated. At the moment he's calm and relaxed and the situation under control.
Heavily intoxicated, air traffic speak for pissed as a fart then.
At night, one danger to pilots and passengers is at its greatest. Laser pointers are tech toys that can be bought for a few pounds on any high street.
2 hours into the shift, it's a lovely, clear evening, and we've had 4 reports of laser attacks on aircraft. Obviously, the pilots deal with that, make sure they're flying the airplane safely. They'll let us know that they've been targeted by a laser, and we'll contact the local police. The danger is fairly significant. Clearly, the immediate danger to the pilot's eyes. You know, you've sensed something flashing here, the natural human instinct must be to look at it.
Police have tracked down some of the culprits. Over 150 people in the UK have been prosecuted for directing lasers at aircraft.
Yesterday we had a Virgin Atlantic aircraft leave Heathrow, and it was attacked, I think is probably the right word, by a laser, which got one of the pilots in the eye. The crew decided that they weren't prepared to continue, with one of them having potential damage to their eyes, and so the aircraft turned back and came back into Heathrow. It's a very serious thing. Laser strikes at aircraft are pretty much idiots on the ground firing these things about. I guess they may think it's a jokey fun thing to do. Well, it certainly isn't. It's very, very dangerous. And it's illegal as well, and you can be charged, prosecuted and thrown into jail.
At Stansted, it's the morning of Lynn's flight. Along with the 96 other passengers, she's due to board a plane.
Thank you so much.
And find out if she's cured of her fear.
Can't lie, very nervous right now.
What are you nervous of?
That.
Tell me how you're feeling.
Really anxious, and my heart, I can't stop beating. It's going bang, 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 bang. Oh.
In just a few moments, we'll take you through the safety features of Airbus 319, and we would kindly ask your full attention for these short moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, a safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
I've got to see, I've got to get the image in my head. And I'm just sticking on to that, that's it. That's very powerful. The photograph that I've got is a really powerful one. It's the beach where my mum grew up, and she wants her ashes sprinkled there. And that's the reason I'm doing this, so that I can do that. And yesterday when we were doing that image, 2 or 3 times, I found myself standing on the beach, and right at the end of it, I could see a picture of my mum. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with that. That's going to get me there, up there, and ultimately to Australia.
But they've also got that visual indicator as well. So slight crosswind, wind is out of the south, and now of course the engine thrust is increasing, the volume is increasing, the vibrations of course increase to the point as we accelerate the aircraft down. There's an awful lot of thrust available. This is only 3 quarters of the total thrust available. The aircraft is accelerating down the way now. Lots of undulations, you should be able to sensation just like driving down the concrete road in the air. There we go. It increases, of course. Then, the vibration. Congratulations. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. What a huge moment. And of course, the vibration is not really
At Ascot, it's the final of the air race.
Are you ticklish?
With retirement looming, This year is Paul's last chance to win an unprecedented third Red Bull Championship.
He was born just a few miles up the road here in Berkshire. There is a lot of Paul Bonhomme fans here and people he's drunk many pints in Berkshire with.
Well, today I'm looking for Paul to win, of course. I mean, can't ask for any more than that.
Oh, he's just the best. He's just the best.
He's a British Airways captain.
But he didn't do these sort of manoeuvres in a jumbo, but he should have done.
Paul is up against 3 other pilots.
And here comes Mattel, a 2-second penalty for Mattel! Incorrect level through gate 10! Oh!
The time to beat is 1 minute and 9 seconds.
There is one pilot left to fly. The current World Championship leader. 17 wins, 42 podiums. But most importantly to the British fans here today, it must be penalty free. It must be faster than 109.024. Over 20,000 people applauded on their feet. Here comes Bonhomme, looking to bring a British success at Royal Ascot.
The great thing about an experience of flying an aeroplane on the limit is doing it knowing you're in control of that. But I think what is great is the ability to plan well enough so that you can go right up to the limit and then stop there. You know, I think for me that's a great challenge.
All inside to stay in ground effect and pop up high, get a good line up here. 146 is a good speed through gate number 1, nice and straight.
Psychologists would probably tell you what it's all about, but I quite like the idea of being on the top of the hill, and I quite like the view, and I quite like the view from an aeroplane. You know, it is just the ultimate.
Here he comes, Mike. This is the tricky gate. This was where Matt Hall had problems. He's into gate 10. No worries for Bonhomme. Just bobs over the oak tree. Now he's in Champion's Corner, and he's looking like the champion. In Champion's Corner, into the penultimate gate. Gets those wings level. Here comes Bonhomme. Come on, Bonhomme. And it is there. 106.416.